Hi and welcome back to Mueller Projects. Today I'm going to be talking about another Hilti tool. So I've been using the Hilti multi-tool for the last couple of weeks, and I'm actually still using the same battery that I started with. This is a 4 amp hour battery, and I've been using it a bit. Been working with exterior cladding and working with a lot of jib, so I've been cutting a fair bit of jib with this as well. Compared to other multi-tools, very similar in weight and also cutting capacity. So I think this one cuts at a 4 degree, so it means it goes 4 degrees either way from how I understand. Some of them are a wee bit less, some of them are a fraction more, so it's very comparable with other brands. You've also got on the back here, you can change your speed from full to slow. So when comparing this with a couple other brands, so it's not the slowest compared to some other brands, and it's about mid-range with volume as well. One feature that does come with this that not all multi-tools have is the ability to dust extract. Didn't test this out, as I've found multi-tools generally don't have that good dust extraction, as the extraction is here where you're actually creating the dust up here. So I don't really know how the dust is meant to suck up to here. Sometimes it does work, but yeah, the extraction's nowhere near where the cutting is, so I've found they don't really tend to work. So this is the Starlock, and this is quite unique. I think there's only 1 or 2 brands that actually do Starlock. So the advantage with this is you just push this lever like this and the blade actually pops off. So on the end here it's got a couple of wee notches, and then you put that on and it just clicks in. So you do have to use these types of blades. So just as a comparison here, so most people I'm sure run a sort of a variety of multi-tool blades depending on what they're using. I tend to run a lot of open-ended ones. Different brands do them, but when you're working with a Starlock, you can only use ones that have a raised edge. You can use ones that have got these little wee indents in, because these are like the multi ones that you can use on ones that take the open-ended ones, or you can use just the Starlock ones, which are called Starlock Max I believe, that don't have the wee holes around the edge. So you are limited to a couple of brands that make these as opposed to a lot more other brands. So that would be one downside with the Hilti one. So this one takes the Neuron batteries again, so again it's that feature with these which is quite cool. You literally press the button on the battery and the battery actually pops out. So these Neuron batteries are quite universal with all the Hilti Neuron range. This has also got a couple of good lights at the front as well, so one either side. And yeah, it's a wee bit dearer than a lot of other multi-tools, but really nice to use. And yeah, when you're cutting on the fast speed, it does tend to cut pretty quick as well. So one of the questions when I first got this, someone asked me, how does it cut through native timbers, or New Zealand native timbers? So I found it's very comparable to other multi-tools. Really comes down to the blade you're using from what I've discovered. The type of multi-tool, from how I've used 3 or 4 different brands, doesn't really affect it too much. Mostly comes down to the blades you're using. So yeah, I might do a bit of a comparison with some different blades in another video. test it, someone actually did ask, so this one actually goes to Carpentry and me. So he did actually want to know how the Hilti cuts into New Zealand native timber. So here's a bit of remove, so I was going to do a bit of comparison. So yeah, my last thoughts on the Hilti multi-tool. Battery life on that seems to be impressive. Like, I was using that for nearly 2 weeks on one battery, and I was doing quite a lot of cutting with it. Like, basically we're doing a lot of jib in the house, and we'll be using that tool every day, cutting around doorways, etc., and that battery just seemed to keep going and going. Starlock seems to be a way that some brands are definitely heading towards, as a lot of people are going away from the Allen keys or time-consuming methods to change your blades. So it's good to see that Hilti has jumped on board with that. It does mean it's limited at the moment with the types of blades you can use, but I think that's going to change as more brands get into this quick release system of changing blades, or in general across the board. So yeah, I think it's definitely got a lot of potential, and it's a nice multi-tool to use.